We have come to that part of the calendar that we call the holiday season, that season between Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. And that season we so often mark as a time in which we gather with family and friends, we celebrate the goodness of community, we buy and give gifts, we go to parties. They're all good things, things that I love to participate in and enjoy. But there is a different calendar, a different event going on in this season as well. In the church, we call this season Advent. Advent means a season of waiting or longing, of expectation, of something about to happen. This Sunday, we're looking at a passage of Zechariah and Elizabeth. They are people who have stopped expecting anything. And yet God shows up in their lives to startle them and bring new life and new beginnings that they never expected. They give birth to a son named John, who becomes John the Baptist. John becomes a great prophet who calls people and sends people back into the way of experiencing God's presence in their lives. And John is the one who baptizes Jesus and points to him as the Messiah, the one who is God's presence in this world. But after John, who is Jesus' second cousin, sees what Jesus is doing in his ministry and who Jesus is hanging out with, John begins to question whether he pointed in the right direction. And he sends his disciples to Jesus quietly to say, "Are you the one we've been waiting for, or should we look for another?" And Jesus responds to John by saying, "Look with your own eyes for what you see. The blind regain their sight, the deaf have their ears opened, the lame walk, and the poor have good news proclaimed to them," which were all signs of God's kingdom coming into reality in this world in which we live. You see, John, like all of us, had his own expectations of what God looked like, or what God should look like. And when those expectations got in the way of what God was doing and how God was present in the person of Jesus Christ, John couldn't see. I think that as we approach this Advent season, there are so many things that want to distract us. So many things that we think God must do in order to be God. That we, like John, who was so faithful, can easily miss the moment where God's love has drawn near to us again. And so I want to invite you in this Advent season to enjoy family, to decorate your home, to go to those social gatherings, to celebrate the holiday season, but to do something more. To look beyond what we have made it, and to turn our hearts to prayer, to turn our eyes to the Scripture, and to set aside our expectations that our ears may be opened and our eyes might see, and we might be part of God's kingdom. Jesus enters into John's world, bringing a kingdom that John could never have imagined in his wildest dreams. A place of forgiveness, a place of community, and a place of transformation. And John is going to have to let go in order to experience the new thing that God is doing. Jesus himself says, "Those who seek will find. Those who knock shall find the door opened." So enjoy the holiday season, but don't miss Advent. And don't let your expectations of what this season should be get in the way of God doing something wholly new in your life and the life of those around you, to bring healing, to bring grace, to create a new beginning. This is the moment to open our eyes and, like Zachariah and Elizabeth, be amazed at what God is doing. I hope this is a great Advent and holiday season for us all.